What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you. I know a lot of times people come on here and they love to talk about conspiracy theories when it comes to Chantal. And I really, if you follow me, don't subscribe to that. But what I will say is it's very, very interesting timing, convenient timing, if you will, that if you know what happened yesterday, that today, the cameo, the intro, they're non existent. Now, Chantal will say, we're filming on the GoPro now. The file sizes are massive. I can't edit them on my phone. I have to edit them on my computer, Salah's computer. But what I will tell you is if you paid attention to what happened yesterday, Chantal essentially got messages from Shani. And we're not going to sit here and have the debate over who the worst person is or who the best of the worst is. We have to look at this from the actual perspective of what it was. Shani is a customer. Chantal is the provider. Shani went to the provider and said, I'm going to give you your $30 price. Please provide me a custom cameo with the greeting of my choice. And in that message, Shani reached out and I would say was very polite to Chantal. She said, listen, you and I have a lot in common. We're both YouTubers. We both have a lot of people that react to us. We both have had people come online and try to steal our man. So with all of these things we can bond over, perhaps we can be better friends. I'm going to leave my contact information. You basically do as you wish. In the interim, please provide me my cameo. I can't wait to have something I can treasure forever. In return, Chantal took all of those messages, used them against Shani in a way that Shani never expected them to be used, and basically put her cameo at risk, as anyone that operates a business that way would, by kind of coming online and saying, look, here's this person's contact information. Now, she deleted these very quickly because she knows, obviously, it impacts the cameo going forward. But all things being equal, how convenient is it that all of a sudden, no cameo on this video? Now, she says they were out filming today, and they're going to come back over the weekend because they're uploading again to the couples channel. And right now, they want to focus on this restaurant. She says they're eating at the restaurant, but what she really means is they're eating in the restaurant's parking lot. She shows the restaurant. She shows some stray cats because every time Chantal is out, she has to show stray cats. She has to call them. She has to ask if they want food. And she says, since they're out filming today, we need to be aware that content on the couples channel is going to be upcoming. It's a reoccurring theme that we get told this, by the way. And we also see her starting to eat ice cream. She says that she has to eat this first because if she doesn't, it will melt, which very true. But at the same time, someone that comes online, talks about all their medical issues, talks about dealing with their diabetes, claims that people in the community make fun of her diabetes, is sitting in your car, eating Salah's favorite, chocolate soft serve, really the best thing to be doing? I would offer no. And I would also say that when she does these things, she expects a response. This whole video, as we'll talk about in the end, is designed to get a response. Now, as a foodie, you understand, you would think she would have a very intelligent way of describing food. She would have a very sophisticated and refined palate. So when someone describes ice cream, maybe they talk about the flavor, maybe they talk about the profile, maybe they talk about how it's made. Chantal describes it as, quote, very cold. We then see the French fries, which, don't worry. If you were concerned that she shouldn't have the ice cream, and then you say, well, she really shouldn't have fried foods and a whole lot of salt, they're going to share the fries. And the fries, they only have ketchup and mayo, so it's not going to be too bad. She then goes into some of the flatbreads. And again, as a foodie, they're soft, they're warm. Of course, they're really good. And she talks about, again, how salty the fries are and how fresh everything is. And she continues to say the cheese inside, it's warm, it's creamy, it's yummy. And of course, like every meal, it's her first of the day. And of course, none of this also matters because they've been out walking. And she doesn't want to talk about what they're out doing. She wants that to be a surprise because if you weren't aware, they have a couples channel and they're out filming for that right now. And the reason they can film is because summer is gone. Now they can go outside. It's cooled off. They can do things. And I just want to say, if you haven't been able to tell from all of these shots, number one, this was filmed so poorly. I mean, they have a GoPro, right? There's a lot they can do. There's interesting angles. There's tons of filters. Instead, we get a camera basically stuffed into a cup holder with this kind of downward shot of her eating and kind of the side window. You know, she urges us, if we have an Arab bakery, to go out and have this. And again, talks about the cheeses. She, of course, connects this to the only thing she can: 15 plus year old stories of when she worked and ate similar things. And of course, she tries to validate and justify everything at the end by saying, listen, this was only 1.5 sandwiches, some French fries, some ice cream. But if you watch it and you listen, not just because the microphone is there, I think the microphone kind of makes you pay attention to it more. Just sitting in the car, she's breathing so heavily. It's concerning. You know, you should not get exhausted from sitting and eating. More so if you think about it in the perspective of sitting and eating is what she does essentially to build up her stamina. This whole video could have been avoided. If you look at this, right, and you just think of it from a composition standpoint, you're out, you're filming something, okay? You're filming a vlog. And I want you to think about also all the vloggers maybe you watch. Have you ever seen them come online and say, well, today, you know, because we're out and about, because we're vlogging, we're just going to film a meal. We're just going to kind of throw you on the dash and you can kind of kick back and watch us eat. A lot of people don't do that. And the reason they don't do that is, number one, it's not very interesting to watch. But number two, it's also very, very lazy. And I think that laziness in this video is magnified when you think about the fact that the two of them, they should be sitting there having lunch together and saying, hey, what can we do today to make this content better? What ideas do you have? Do you have any storyboarding? Do you have any scenes? Let me show you some examples, Salah, of things that we should be out filming, things we should be out doing, things that I watched in other people's vlogs that I want you to try to replicate in ours, because that's going to give the viewer a better experience. Instead, Chantal simply goes for the absolute bottom of the barrel and says, you know what, rather than do any of that, rather than care, let's do the absolute laziest content possible. Let's film out the windshield and let's throw the viewer in the cup holder so they can get the perspective of a bug watching me eat while they're on the ground. Chantal, this is really the summation of why things are going the way they are for you. And it is an uphill battle. Right? If you're this desperate to make content, then you've got real challenges, because it's going to be hard work. If this is what you think work is, then vlogging is going to be an uphill challenge, and we know you hate uphill. You're really going to have to sit down and hone in. Every day for you needs to be Game 7. You need to wake up and ask yourself, how am I going to make today better than yesterday? How am I going to make this vlog better than the last one? Because you have these grandiose dreams, these grandiose claims, and it's not just with the dieting. It's with everything. But the reality is, we see it firsthand. When it comes to the work ethic, when it comes to having to sit down and execute, she never, ever wants to do it. You know why? Because it's a lot easier to throw a GoPro in a cup holder and eat a meal that you want than it is to actually go out and put in all the hard work. I want you to remember, to close this out, she waited how many weeks for the specific adapter so that she could have her microphone onboarded to the GoPro so that we could get riveting content like Eat in the Car with Me. Love to know your thoughts on this, your top comments from the last video, and you know, just like Chantal not getting out of a car, I'll be back as soon as I can with more commentary.